Ousted Tunisian President Zine Abidine Ben Ali is both rich and reviled, and many believe he plundered millions from his country. Now, CBC News has learned that members of his family have come here to Canada, and that's unleashed a wave of anger. Peter Ackman has the story.
Over plates of bricolage, the leader of Montreal's Tunisian community are mulling over the latest news that the family of a man they say has run their country with an iron fist is in the city.
It is outrageous. We don't understand why Canada would accept them here in Canada.
Government sources tell CBC News that more than 5 members of Ben Ali's family, including his brother-in-law, arrived in Montreal by private jet Thursday morning. Most of them were carrying permanent resident cards.
It's as if you would tell me that Duvalier would come here in Montreal, how the Haitian community and how the Canadian would react.
The federal immigration minister is confident the ousted president is not in Canada. As for his family,
anyone who wants to come from Tunisia requires a visa. That would be very difficult for someone to obtain if they can't go back to their country of origin.
Ben Ali's family could be headed for this home in Montreal's upscale neighborhood Westmount, one of several properties they own here. The family's lavish lifestyle has already spurred a lot of anger, much of it directed towards his wife. They're accused of stealing millions of government money. And many in Canada's Tunisian community want the Canadian government to do what other foreign governments have already done.
Freeze their assets here until the investigation in Tunisia is finished.
Government sources say they expect more of Ben Ali's family members to try and get into Canada, so they're monitoring all of the different air routes, hoping to prevent that from happening. Peter Ackman, CBC News, Montreal.
The Canadian government confirms relatives of the ousted Tunisian dictator Zine Abidine Ben Ali are in Canada, and there's not a lot they can do about it. John Northcott is tracking the latest developments. So, John, what's the government saying?
Well, Christine, this is a very interesting story. We've been following all the situation in Tunisia with the overthrow of the government and the ruling leaders fleeing, including Ben Ali, who had headed up the country for 23 years. There he is there when he was still in Tunisia. Huge family, a lot of in-laws, and we've been following reports that a number of them came to Montreal Thursday or Friday and flew in a private jet and were in a hotel in Montreal. Now comes word from the federal government that indeed there may be family members from the Ben Ali family, but they, as permanent resident status, they're allowed to be here. Here is Immigration Minister Jason Kenney.
There are, I gather, a couple of members of his family who are already Canadian permanent residents, which gives them a legal right to be here. But anyone who wants to come from Tunisia requires a visa. That would be very difficult for someone to obtain if they can't go back to their country of origin. So we are watching the situation carefully.
So in fact, sort of splitting hairs there, we're hearing from Daniel Thibault, quoting government sources, our reporter in Ottawa, there could be as many as 10 family members, but as the minister points out, they have a right to be here in that they have permanent resident status. The question is how many other members of the Ben Ali family have this status and will be wanting to come here, or in fact are here already.
Well, now that we know for sure that there are some members here, how is the Canadian-Tunisian community reacting to this?
Well, they have called out for any and all assets held by the Ben Ali family in this country to be frozen, and they are hiring a lawyer to try and push the government to do that. Here is a reaction from one from Montreal.
It is outrageous. We don't understand why Canada would accept them here in Canada, because it doesn't follow the Canadian values, which is such as justice, social democracy, and we want this family to be judged by a Tunisian in Tunisia.
And in an email sent to CBC from the Department of Foreign Affairs, they point out that if individuals are not wanted and do not have a request from a foreign government, then there is no reason, if they are allowed, if they have the proper papers, why they shouldn't be allowed into the country. This is a political hot potato.
Oh, for sure, and thank you for the latest on it.
Okay.